So much good stuff happening on this Bitcoin chart. A couple targets to the upside in the 70s, in the 80s, and I'm talking the thousands. Right now, this daily chart looking really good for BTC. If you're out there right now, you're enjoying this crypto pump, please hit the like button on this video. Please hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and let's just jump into it. I want to talk about the targets to the upside. As always, there's reason to be careful on this chart right now. I think the current daily candle, still 8.5 hours as I do this video, is going to be very telling. And specifically, the price Bitcoin's trading at right now, really key. So I want to dive into the Bitcoin daily chart that you see here. A lot going on, but I would say mostly all good stuff. Before I do that, I want to go over to the weekly and I want to ask a question. The Bitcoin halving just happened. There is a supply shock happening, not just from a Bitcoin halving perspective, which happens every cycle, but now from just kind of this demand perspective. Truly, the Bitcoin spot ETFs are still a big deal in my view on the macro, on what's going to happen with the supply shock of Bitcoin. But how can you not be bullish on crypto right now? How can you not be bullish on Bitcoin? Just to give you a sense on the macro, from the swing high to swing low, and I'm gonna keep talking about this. There's our Fibonacci bull market doors. Bitcoin just broke that. This was not long ago in February. A little bit earlier this cycle, Bitcoin halving happens. Bitcoin right now, from a price perspective, if we're looking at what just occurred, Bitcoin revisited the upper end of the Fibonacci area, the bull market doors. I ask, how can you not be bullish on this chart? Because if you just go back 2 cycles ago, this is a 2017 move. Bitcoin kind of having a retrace post-Bitcoin halving to that bull market door area and the 20-week moving average. The very fact that we see so much synergy and that consistency right now on this Bitcoin chart is insane. And then you go to Bitcoin monthly chart, and we're looking at a very similar time of the cycle, right? This was the move back in 2017, Bitcoin consolidating post Bitcoin halving. Just look at this, overbought on the RSI on the monthly, takes a little bit of a break, a breather, and then the bull market really just takes off for Bitcoin and crypto. Look what's happening, overbought on the monthly, not crazy overbought like we see at bull market highs, by the way, and then it cools off. There is so much room on this monthly chart, everybody. I don't know how you can't be bullish on this Bitcoin chart, on crypto in general. Let's dive into the charts, talk about the daily. I want to actually show a clip. This is from 12 days ago, really fast. Check it out. 20-day moving average around 63. I'm not getting excited until it's breaking that area, and then the 50-day moving average around 66. So we have a little bit of a ways to go for Bitcoin around. All right, little bit of a ways to go. 12 days ago, Bitcoin's there. This is where I don't like using the word excited. It's too much of an emotional word, but I do. I get excited. I like to see crypto pump. I like to see it test crucial areas, especially when we've just been in a downtrend. We had the 20-day crossing below the 50 right here. That's always just a sign that, hey, we're in this consolidation phase. We're going to need some patience. This is a daily chart. So this has been months of consolidation to the downside. Now we're going to talk about targets to the upside and the breakout that potentially is in play, but I do want to just get this out of the way. The resistance is right here. I showed that clip because, again, it's the moving averages. It's flipping those moving averages and breaking back above, turning those moving averages into higher high, higher low support is what we want to see. So on a Bitcoin daily chart, it's like you can just zoom out, flipping that, right? The 20-day crossing back above the 50 and then seeing support and higher highs and higher lows above. That's what I want to see right now. And this is where it's going to be fun to watch in the next 8.5 hours. Bitcoin's testing right at the 50-day moving average. It's around $65,100 or so. Bitcoin is there. Can Bitcoin continue this move to the upside? And how will the daily candle close? Will it wick above and then we're actually going to close below? Will it close the daily candle above the 50-day? One thing I want to do is I want to go back and then we're going to talk about the upside targets. I do want to go back and just zoom out a little bit on the daily. This has been the story of Bitcoin. Higher highs and higher lows from the bear market low. But I do want to point something out. When Bitcoin was in this consolidation, back here, swing high to swing low, this was in like April, May, there was this move that happened, right? Bitcoin, you have that 20-day, very similar, the 20-day crossing below the 50. Bitcoin broke above the 20 and made a move to the 50. And it looked really nice, right? When it's happening. This move could be like, from that swing low to swing high, almost a 10% move, could be like, man, we made it. the consolidation is over. And then what happened? Rejection at the 50-day, and Bitcoin actually went lower, right? Before kind of really making a power move. All the while, if we look at the RSI, it was just continuing to consolidate, this momentum oscillator. So right now, it'll be very interesting to see if Bitcoin could break that 50-day moving average in blue and not have to go a little bit lower, not have to see more consolidation. But I want to get this out of the way. If Bitcoin sees rejection, starts falling even lower, maybe even to the target that we have here, out of the symmetrical triangle back here, the target is the lower 50s. If it happens, I will be keeping such a close eye, and I won't be bearish. I will be keeping such a close eye on this RSI because there could be incredibly bullish divergence in a move like that. Bitcoin goes lower, hits the target, but it's putting in some type of higher low on the RSI, and then we might be getting ready to really go crazy. But bullish talk now. Bitcoin right now testing that 50-day. If Bitcoin could break out, and there is an environment just for risk on assets right now that really does say this could happen, we get this breakout out of the 50-day. We have a couple targets that I'm personally watching. One of them is kind of this obvious target, which we've talked about for quite some time now. We have this massive rising wedge that Bitcoin broke out of in February. Talk about it a lot. We're still waiting on the target to the upside. The targets is like $80,000 to $85,000 to the upside out of that rising wedge, right? We've had such a just really nice technical analysis move, and that is to say textbook move, a revisit to the apex of the wedge, got the support, and right now Bitcoin's trying to break back to the upside. So oftentimes we'll get a move out of a pattern, a throwback to the pattern, and then continuation to the target into the $80,000, $85,000 range. That could be the setup. This would be an amazing move on the macro. And the other target I'm watching is more, maybe a little bit smaller, shorter term. I mentioned this in a video. I don't remember what video it was, but just kind of the vibe that I get and the consolidation that's taken place here, inverse head and shoulder vibe, right? Kind of a left shoulder. The bulls step in, they fail there. The bears step in, bring it down even harder for the head. We move back up, right? Bulls stepping in, failing. The bears bring it down, not as strong. And the bulls stepping in, there's an inverse head and shoulders really, truly in play. The breakout and the 50-day moving average almost looks like kind of a neckline area of the inverse head and shoulders. I love seeing that as a technical analysis person, because a lot of times this looks like art on the screen. Look at this resistance. That's the neckline. It's a 50-day moving average. Target to the upside, if Bitcoin can break this, I think is around 75-ish is what I kind of was talking about in the last video. I don't remember exactly, but if we look at this, inverse head and shoulders, potential setup, the breakout around $73,000 to $75,000. So that's that kind of midterm, short to midterm. I mean, that could happen so quick. Bitcoin's at 65,000. If you don't think that Bitcoin could make a 15% move to a target like that, I'm not saying like today or like in the next 2 days. I'm just saying as this next leg up, that's just what Bitcoin does if it's going to make a bullish breakout. And that's my target. That's my first target to the upside for that to happen. Notice one other thing, actually, as we're looking at this. If we extend the symmetrical triangle, lower, high type of setup, right, for Bitcoin, look at that trend line falling almost right exactly where Bitcoin is right now, just above that 50-day moving average resistance we're looking at. That area, the $65,000 to $66,000 area right now for Bitcoin is the key area that I will be watching today. But yeah, we have targets to the upside. We have the target to the downside. It's still in play. I'm always careful, especially when we're at these areas of resistance. Bitcoin could fall. This might not be the breakout. Even with that being said, everybody, I'm just very bullish. Just going back to the beginning of this video, what we just looked at on the weekly, on the monthly. I truly think there's a lot in store for this bull market for crypto, and we're just tracking it. So everybody, let me know your thoughts about Bitcoin right now in this daily chart. What do you think it will do next? How you doing out there? Hit the subscribe. Hit that like. I appreciate you cruising through. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.